This is my first magnesium mouse that isn't from Finalmouse. It looks and feels amazing. Big fan of these kinds of mice. But yeah, very hard to make and pretty expensive too, so don't expect them in stock too often. But the blue one is at the time I made this review, and $179 is pretty good for this kind of mouse. Now, reading the manual, the first thing you should do is remove the clear mouse feet covers.
See, because of me, now they have a warning.
Otherwise, it won't glide too well, but I've found during game, these will usually peel off on their own anyway. Next, as you can see by this cool feature on the website, it's in the shape of the Zowie EC2. One of the most popular shapes around and still a personal favorite of mine. Just really comfortable. Most will know this shape, but I'll give a quick tour anyway. So when I designed my mouse, I talked about how I wanted a shape that fit the natural shape of the hand. I was mainly focusing on the verticality though, so you get this shape. The EC2 has a more relaxed vertical because it's more for claw and palm grip. You don't get that extreme fingertip grip angle on the fingers. Instead, they focus more on the horizontal grip. So you do the same arch with your hand, and you notice the little finger knuckle is really low compared to the index and middle. And I think that's where you get this shape, with the arch of the mouse in the middle and on the left side. It seems this shape is great for comfort, and if you've been experiencing long-term cramps from the symmetrical mice, you might want to try one of these asymmetrical designs. There's good thumb curvature, both horizontal and vertical, with good room for your thumb under the side buttons. It's kind of flat where your thumb tip should go, and then this curvature toward the back should follow your thumb's natural curvature, which is good for grip. And with the back being flared out, it can touch the base of your palm. Whether that helps control or hinders movement, that's up to you and your grip. The other side has sloped curvature, which makes sense comfort-wise but not really grip-wise. Generally, you want a bit of a ledge. That could have been assisted with the holes in the mouse, but see on other mice, these holes not only reduce weight, they allow your skin to press in a bit, which actually does help with the grip. If you press hard enough against the mouse with holes, you'll see the marks on your skin. So even if you have some grip issues, or the shape doesn't quite suit you, these holes can help. StormBreaker has holes too, but I think they're going the wrong way. By that I mean, when we grip the mice, our fingers are pulling this way, backward. So if I apply pressure, what happens? My fingers go in the direction of the holes. What if I turn the mouse around? What happens then? The mouse lifts. So these holes should have been the opposite way to assist with grip. And you could just put the grips on, but I feel like they take away from the awesome magnesium of the mouse. I'd rather use it without them. And I was able to use it without the grips, so for me it's fine, just a little note. But I think they wanted a smoother feel, rather than grip focused holes. Pointing this out not as like a big negative, but some constructive criticism for future designs. And they do look cool. Anyway, back to the design. The hump is in the middle, so if you're basing your grip on the hump touching this part of your fingers, this is a good design. If you'd prefer the hump touching your palm a bit, then you might find your fingers overhang a little. It can still work for both of course. And some slight comfort curves in the buttons. Really, this is an advanced shape. I imagine it would be hard to make with magnesium, but I haven't felt a sharp edge or anything. It's been really comfortable. I was actually worried there'd be something sharp on this, but I can squeeze it, run my fingers all over it, and there's not a single sharp edge anywhere. It's a little sharper on the bottom, so I guess they file this stuff down, and you're never going to be touching the base, so it's okay. I'd say they've done an amazing job. Really well done. And no creaks, no cracks, no rattles. It's solid. Here's a listen to the buttons. So left and right are a little harder to press in than usual. That's normal for magnesium though, but they were fine in game. Nice click to them, not too loud. Mouse 3 isn't as hard to press in as others, but didn't have any accidental presses, and the scroll is a bit louder, but good tension on the steps, so I didn't have many limbo jumps in game. Side buttons, unlike the EC2, have very little travel, which is great. They feel tight and crisp. Overall, quite happy with the buttons, not much I'd change. And latency wise, they seem really good. Testing against the Death Adder V3, they're pretty much on par. And the sensor performance is obviously top tier too, so it seems like Pwnage have got the wireless tech right. Great to see. For dimensions, about the same as the EC2, so 5.8 grip width, 12.1 long, 4.1 high, button heights of about 2.3 and 2.1, which is a bit higher than I'd like. That's all centimeters. If you want inches, check out the website. I'd recommend it for palm grip for hands under 18 centimeters, fingertip and claw 17 to 21. Really depends where you're at and what you want. Here it is next to some other mice so you know the idea of the size. And being magnesium, it's a low weight of 52, which is really good of course. Balance in 3-finger grip, maybe slightly toward the back. I think that's a battery doing that. Not too bad, but maybe something to work on a little more. If you use the screwdriver and move the sensor, maybe you could balance it a bit. Wasn't that big a deal though, so I didn't bother. and I haven't found sensor placement to be a big issue, so for me this would only be about weight balance. The cable is pretty good too, soft and flexible, but it's a wireless mouse so you shouldn't need it. However, after more use, I found I'm not a fan of this puck thing. The design is fine, but I prefer the cable extender these days. It gives more freedom, like you can plug the USB stick in directly to the PC if you want to. But like this, you always have to use the cable to plug the puck in. Again, not a big deal, just some constructive criticism for future. Same goes for Finalmouse and everyone doing it this way. And the software is basic, not really needed. Also needs Windows authentication, so installed on an empty machine to be safe, seemed okay. But yeah, they have to get certification. If you really want to use it to change DPI or something, then sure. But I still recommend 1600 or 3200 DPI. Like Zowie, you don't need the software to change the settings. You can just do it on the mouse, but of course you can't do custom DPI. Okay, so if you want a magnesium mouse in the shape of the EC2, with solid wireless tech and really low weight, this could be a great choice. I wouldn't recommend spending this much on a mouse before you know the shape is right for you though, but if you've had experience on mice like this, you should be good to go. Plus it's a very popular shape, so it should be pretty safe anyway. And remember, remove those mouse feet protectors before use. Now, no sponsors on this video, but if you want to support what I do, check out my mouse design with Extrify, the MZ1, and if you read books, I've released my first novel again. It's The Hero's Fall, When War Calls. Check the website for details. It's set in World War IV, but has an element of magic to it, and you'll also find the usual links below. Now that being said, obviously I have no bias with Pwnage. Big thanks to them for sending this out, but all thoughts are my own. They've genuinely made an amazing mouse. There's something so special about magnesium mice. I wish I had a magnesium version of mine. But that's about it for this one. Sub, like and share, and I'll catch you in the next.
Impressive. 2 frags in 2 seconds. Excellent. Red wins the round. Combo kill. Accuracy.